There will not be a decision today. We will have argument, and I believe I've said that I would allow each side an hour. If we had had the photograph when we should have, in a timely fashion, I'm going to now enumerate all the different ways that we could have used it in order to establish a reasonable doubt. All that I'm saying at the very beginning of this argument is that there's something unique about the properties of this photograph that it's outcome determinative. So let me start with those. The first has to do with how it could have been used on the cross-examination of Dr. Feigen. Dr. Feigen, after all, is the witness upon whom the Commonwealth relies for the direct first-hand observation that the skull fracture in this instance is fresh. That is, it doesn't have any lipping, it doesn't have any callus. At the very least, if we had had this photograph for purposes of cross-examining Dr. Feigen about the accuracies of his observation, that in and of itself, that confrontation, could have changed the jury's opinion about his credibility and the accuracy of his observations on this outcome determinative issue. Because he was able to use, and it's at page 18 of the transcript, what was Exhibit 49 initially, and that is an old, admittedly by them, out-of-focus photograph of the skull fracture, which does not show this lipping and makes it look fresher. Because the issue here is whether there are sharp edges or not, and whether there's rounding or not, whether there's evidence of healing. Well, at least you didn't put that evidence. That was a choice you made. I'm not in the least criticizing your choice.
Close-up photographs that show lipping, and he was able to rely upon an old, admittedly out-of-focus photograph, which he could say corroborated his eyeball observations.
And is more intimately familiar with the case. And so that only addresses half of Your Honor's question. It addresses the question of the